Hello and welcome to Planet Pulse on Firstpost. The Earth is constantly changing, and in recent years, for the worse. Summers are getting hotter, winters harsher. Rising sea levels, floods, drought, wildfires, and torrential rain have been disrupting lives across continents. The fight against climate change is needed now more than ever. On this show, we bring you all the top stories on the climate crisis, its causes, its brutal effects, and the warriors helping to fight the menace. The United States is in the grip of a relentless flood crisis. From Texas to the Northeast, torrential rains have unleashed havoc, submerging cities, disrupting life, and claiming lives. New York and New Jersey were among the hardest hit, with scenes of submerged streets, flooded subways, and vehicles being swept away. Scary visuals captured the fury unleashed and raised big questions about climate and urban readiness. Here's a report on how this season's floods turned two major states into disaster zones.
The US is grappling with flood havoc. After deadly floods in Texas, where many remain missing, flood fury is spread to other US states. Record-breaking rains across the country have put major states and cities underwater. Texas, North Carolina, Illinois, New Mexico, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all are under flood havoc. As the week began, New York City was battered by torrential downpour, bringing the city life to a standstill. Scary visuals emerged from across the metropolitan area. One video showed floodwater gushing into a subway platform as passengers watched from inside a train. People were seen kneeling on their seats, lifting their legs to escape the rising water inside the carriage. Another clip captured muddy brown water spewing like a geyser from a subway turnstile. On the streets, cars turned into floating shells. Footpaths disappeared underwater. Vehicles crawled through neck-deep floodwaters while massive traffic jams paralyzed major streets.
When it rains here in New York, it sucks. I don't know what is going on, the drainage. I mean, look at this. God forbid if someone slips and falls in this, you'd have to amputate your whole skin. It's horrible. Whenever it rains, it's bad.
These are not the conditions that New Yorkers deserve to be traveling.
The rains turned deadly as they swept into New Jersey. 2 people were killed as a vehicle was swept away in rushing waters. Videos showed a river bursting its banks, spilling out onto streets in North Plainfield.
We had some serious weather that hit us last night, and we had, sadly, 2 fatalities in Plainfield and a car that was swept away. I think Cedar Brook Park, Sean. And I just came from Berkeley Heights in Union County. I'd say Union County and Somerset County had the biggest impact, a whole number of communities, a significant amount of damage, which we're still assessing.
Another dramatic footage shows cars blowing through heavily flooded streets as water also flowed into a bus. Airports, highways, railways, all were thrown into chaos. Most flash flood watches in the Northeast have expired, but Weather Service is still urging caution. While July's weather patterns often bring sudden, dangerous floods, this year's fury was on another scale. Experts have linked this escalation to climate change. Sudden extreme floods are now more likely across the US, fueled by warmer air that holds more moisture. Aging infrastructure and urban drainage cannot keep up. This is the peak of a seasonal pattern, now supercharged by climate shift and urban vulnerability. July's flash floods did not just disrupt cities, they exposed how unready we are for what's becoming the new normal.
Taxis in Afghanistan are turning heads. not for speed, but for survival tactics. With temperatures soaring above 40 degrees Celsius, drivers in Kandahar are on a DIY assignment. They are building rooftop ACs using barrels, vents, and tape. It's scrappy, it's smart. In a country that battles intense heat, these moving machines are doing something unique, fighting the heat one ride at a time. Our next report tells you more.
In southern Afghanistan, strange barrels are popping up on taxi rooftops. They're not luggage, they're air conditioners built by hand. Afghan taxi drivers have cobbled up a creative solution to spare them and their passengers from the sweltering heat. In Kandahar, taxi drivers have created their own cooling systems using plastic drums, exhaust pipes, and sticky tape. The air conditioners do not look high-tech or pretty, but they work. A low-cost invention in a high-heat crisis. A taxi driver, Abdul Bari, says this setup works better than a regular AC.
This works better than an AC. ACS only cool the front. This cooler spreads air throughout the car. The only issue is refilling the water twice a day, but it works well for me.
In southern Afghanistan, temperatures regularly exceed 40 degrees Celsius, and as air conditioning inside cars often break down, cabbies lament. Bari's assistant helps him set up his DIY car air conditioning system. He climbs on top of the taxi roof to install it. The vent is fixed to the window using a pipe, and another assistant climbs on top of the car to attach the body of the unit. It may look odd, but it keeps the car cool. The only maintenance? Manually refilling the water twice a day. Another driver, Gul Muhammad, got his cooler custom made. He paid 3,000 Afghanis, which is about $43. He did it because the regular car ACs kept failing, and fixing them cost way too much.
These cars' AC systems didn't work, and repairs were too expensive. So I went to a technician, had a custom cooler made by hand, and installed it in my car.
Passengers welcomed this move. Some say sitting in a car during the sweltering heat without a cooler is unbearable. One rider even carries anti-heat medicine after needing an IV drip due to a heat-related illness.
When there's no cooler, it becomes very difficult. I even carry an anti-heat medicine with me. I bought it specifically to drink during this heat. So, in these taxis where coolers are installed, it's really good. These people are helping solve this problem, and it's great that the problem is being addressed.
Local technicians say this is not new. They have been building these custom rooftop units for taxi drivers for the past 2 to 3 years. In the past, drivers used to install small coolers made out of barrel, but now there has been progress and proper coolers are being installed.
It's been about 2 or 3 years since people started paying serious attention to them. In the past, people used to make small coolers for their cars out of barrel. But now there's been progress, and proper coolers are being installed.
This year, Afghanistan recorded its hottest spring on record. A severe drought is also spreading. The United Nations says it is destroying crops and rural livelihoods. Experts say the climate crisis will hit Afghanistan harder than most countries. But they do not have a seat at global climate talks. Ever since the Taliban takeover in 2021, Afghanistan has been left out of the UN climate negotiations. So it has come to this: taxi drivers building their own ACs in one of the world's poorest countries. These are not just clever hacks, these are signs of desperation. It's a story of innovation, but also isolation.
And that's it on Planet Pulse for today. We'll see you again at the same time next week. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 idioma.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know